Welcome, folks. This is Jim with another video this one is on establishing action plans. So most of you have been in the business world for a long time, and you already know what an action plan is, but I've got a proven method that I want to share with you for developing and monitoring action plans. So let's establish from the top what the definition in here is of an action plan. It's just a detailed plan outlining actions needed to reach one or more goals. So I've created a little work book here that's it looks like a spreadsheet here, but it's one of our Go exercises here. So it's going to take us through how to do something here without any fancy technology or anything. So let's jump right into an action plan here. So the first thing I like to do when I sketch out an action plan or develop an action plan is start with the goal. Put the goal at the very top of every page of that so that all the readers, both those that have to action items and then also those that are also reviewing it, understand the specific goals. Next, I like to break down my worksheet here. First, in these columns, first is the priority right here. So establish a priority for each of the action items. For instance, if you have any gaps in coverage or any things that are glaring or are going to cause you harm, you want to take care of those before other items. Next is an action item. Declare what that item is, make sure it's clear, and then use action words, because these are actions. So start with a verb. Next is who. This is really the owner. And the way I like to do owners, so lots of different schools of thought here, but what I suggest is naming one owner. And that way you have accountability. I understand that an owner may have a team behind them, but you want to have one person who's the leader of that team, one person responsible. Next is the start date. You want to have a clear starting point, and of course, then you want to have a clear deadline. In this case, we're starting in the first example here, on the first line of the example. For instance, it starts in October, and it goes for 1 quarter, the period of time that you have to carry this out, so it goes till 12/31/2014. So have a deadline. Next is money. So is there going to be some additional expenditures that management ought to know about? Make sure you document it here. That way you have a clear and concise understanding of what's going to cost. So let's review the first item. It's our highest priority. It's a priority 1. Use the scale that you're accustomed with, but I always like to put the low numbers as the higher priority. Then use those clear words starting with the verb. Develop executive compensation policy. In this case, there's an abbreviation that might not be understood by everyone, and you may want to change that. The next is the who. That's Jim K. So name specifically him, and of course we talked about the start and the deadline. In this case, there's $2,000 to develop the executive compensation policy. Jim he leads that area in operations and HR. He's never developed a comp policy, so he's going to need some help. So that's about $2,000. The next item is a lower priority. It's a priority 2, and that is to address the risk assessment in the IT policy. Now, Ann A is the assignee. She has 1 quarter to do it, but it doesn't start until until 2015. With the bandwidth in the organization, this is a lower priority, so we're going to get this number 1 done started first, and then we're going to work on the next one. The other thing is to note is that 0 is the dollar amount. So Ann is well versed in policy governance, information security, so she's going to write the risk assessment governance in the IT policy. Let's take a look at monitoring. So it's important to not only establish your action plans, but then on an ongoing basis, monitoring it to make sure that you're tracking toward those goals. So here's a monitoring action plans worksheet I've developed for this exercise, and we can see the statuses as of September 2014. So clearly document your dates on here so that if the reader clearly understands what date we're talking about here. In this particular exercise, what I've done is the first column is an identifier. I've used a coding here, 1A, 1B, 2A. You can put in any specific details, but these really represent identifications from the larger plan, so you don't have to, if the reader wants to refer back to them, they can. The next is percent complete, real basic measurement here, but you want to know how far along each of the action plans are from completion. So at 50% means that you're 50% to completion. If it's 20%, like you see here, like I'm messing over here, that means that you're 20% toward completing the goal. Not 20% away, 20% toward completion. Next is the deadline. So I always want to document the deadline so we know what we're talking about, and then use a status. The statuses I like to use when it comes to monitoring action plans is it's either on target, it's not on target, or it's past due. The other thing I've done here is that I know lots of folks like to color code things, and I think it's good. And so green is good, so we're on target, so this line's green. When we're not on target, we're going to throw up the cautionary flag. That's routinely yellow. And then when you're past due and it's bad, red is bad, it's past due. So let's take a look at the first line here. So our first item is 50% from complete. So that's documented here. Our deadline is is December of 2014, and December. It's September, so we're really on target with that. 50% of the way, plenty of time to go. That looks good. Next one, it's a yellow, so it's not on target, and let's see why. So it's 20% complete, and we only have a month to go, and these are really quarterly goals. And so as of today, we're only 20% of the way, so we're not on target with this. And let's look at the last item here. We're 75% complete, though that's pretty good, but the deadline was last month, so we're past due, so not so good as we look at further. So have a monitoring worksheet. You don't have to get fancy with this stuff. Just have the ability to track. It's one thing to document these plans, but a lot of times the failing is in the failure to monitor them. Let's look at a recap here so that I can leave you with these really important items here. Keep the goal in mind, write it on the top. In this case, it was correct program weaknesses. Order based directly on priorities. So set priorities and order them. So highest priority items come first. Coverage gap deficiency should come first as well. So if you have gaping holes, things that are going to really cause you some issues or problems, address those. They should be the highest priority. Assign ownership of actions to a person, not a role, not a group, for best accountability, my personal opinion. And calibrate your deadlines. Be cognizant of the scale of the project, how long it takes, because putting a unreasonable expectation up front will only mean frustration, and it will mean poor results as well. So it's not good. In this example, I'm doing compliance corrective actions for programs. You can do about 5 programs per quarter, and so that just tells you that there's some calibration in the system that tells you how many items that you can do, and that's going to be based on your past experience. Action should be clear and start with a verb. And start with verbs. So really important to say. Make sure that you craft those descriptions accordingly. Thanks for watching. I hope you appreciated. Comment and like. Bye now.